Well, hey. Okay, so it's a little loud. They just started mowing, but I think they're almost done with the backyard, which means it won't it'll be in the front yard here pretty soon. Okay, so I am going to just get started painting. How about that? This is what I was painting while I was waiting to hang out with y'all. Isn't it pretty? That's the little hydrangea rock. Okay, so we are painting our Party in the USA um, snow ice cream cone. Okay. I'm from Louisiana, so we are really big on snow cones around here. So, and it's snow cone season. We also call it a snowball. So let's go ahead and get the paint. Now, you can paint this whole thing white if you want to. Hey, Anna, you can paint this whole thing white. You don't have to. This right here is important. We're going to go ahead and paint that white just because white is never anybody's true friend. It usually needs two coats. Hey, Christy. Hey, Marie. How are y'all doing this morning? I'm trying to finish this bottle of white off. Hey, Darlene. I'm trying to finish this bottle of white off, and it is like at the tail. You know what? It's good enough. Bye. It's gone. This one is almost empty too. I have so many bottles of white from different. Like I stock up on the white paint because that's one color I like to have whenever I have like a paint get together or a retreat. I always like to have extra white paint because you always underestimate the amount of white that you use. So I have like some older bottles, so I just want to knock those out before I buy any new ones. And let's see. Like I said, we're just going to go ahead. I'm probably just going to paint the bottom half of this, and I'm tempted to paint two. Would it bother y'all if I painted two? I kind of want to paint two. I don't know if I want this in the front on my front porch or if I want to put it in my backyard hanging on my home sign. I have a home sign in the backyard and I have a welcome sign in the front yard. So kind of want it in both places because I love this design. Morning. How are you doing? All right. So I started cleaning some of my craft areas. I have a shed, a storage, teeny tiny storage unit that I keep like decor stuff in, but the shed has like additional, like crafty things like that I might need within 5 minutes. If I don't need it within 5 minutes, like it requires planning, it goes into the teeny tiny storage unit. But if it's like something that I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to paint that right now, I have that in the shed in my backyard. Yeah, I think I'm gonna paint two. I cut two. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew, I had the inkling to maybe paint two. And like I said, I have the home sign in the backyard on my back porch, and then I have the welcome sign, the big 6-foot one, on the front porch. So I don't know, and I may want it in two places because I adore this one. And I feel like this is more than 4th of July because it's just red, white, and blue. And you can paint this any way you want. You don't have to do the words. You don't have to do the words. You can paint this any color you want. Now it does have a star, and that does kind of lean patriotic. Hey Becca Boo. It does lean patriotic, but if you did a different color scheme, like, ooh, what if we did like a solar or orbit, what is galaxy? That's the word. I couldn't think of the word. What if we did like a galaxy theme with it? That star would fit right in. You wouldn't do Party in the USA on there. You'd probably just do like a galaxy color up here with some stars and some Milky Way. It would be real pretty. Real pretty. That is the leaf. And that's the thing, Remo. Hey, Remo. Hey, come here. Be a good boy. Be a good boy. Channel the good boy inside. Be a good boy. It's okay. He is not attacking you. He is not. This is not a personal attack on your territory. I promise. He is making it prettier. Graham works 6 days a week, so this is the one thing that we do for the house to kind of cut time off of his obligations for the house, for his chores, so that we can spend more time as a family because he only gets 1 day off a week. And so that one day we go to church, and then we also try to do something family oriented. It's either a family dinner or we go do something fun. Or, we all take a nap together. We have synchronized nap time. Hey, Quasi. Roma Quasi says hello. Eda's nibble for Quasi. He's over here eating now. When he gets nervous, he eats. Okay, so there's our second coat of the white. We're not going to spend, and I did white on the bottom just because it's going to be a lighter color down there. So this is not our normal painting day. Normally if I'm painting Friday, I'm inside my paint studio and but we are painting on Saturday this week. So I try to do one Friday, one Saturday. This month we did 2 Saturdays, but I try to do at least one Friday, one Saturday for just for different people with different schedules, just to kind of catch everybody at least once a month. But tomorrow we are painting, it's way over there. I will show you. We're painting the second part to our beach bum. I think beach party. It was our beach party. I wanted to call them beach bum, but I thought people would be like, that's not very nice. So he's our beach party bear design set. Let's see. We're going to paint a garland and we're going to paint an attachment. And they're the cutest summer design. So what are y'all doing? What are your plans for this weekend or for the rest of the week if you're catching the replay? Y'all, don't forget, if you're catching the replay, make sure you put that hashtag replay. Just to let me know that you're here, that you're hanging out, and that you're catching it after hours. All right, so we're going to blow dry the white because I don't want it mixing in with my blue. Okay, basically just to kind of keep cross-contamination at bay. Oh, Ramo is just so offended. But no, what I was saying earlier is one reason why I couldn't go live yesterday because I had started the project of cleaning my craft table, and it was like in transition. I was not finished by 5 o'clock. And it looked like a hurricane just came over. It was nowhere near where I could paint without knocking things over. So I was like, okay, let's just call an audible and we'll push it to tomorrow. That way I could focus and finish the project, because who doesn't like a clean craft station, right? It's not 100% done. But I did purge a lot. I always purge a lot. I did purge a lot, and I did make it to where it's not so overwhelming coming over here. Because sometimes I just have so much going on over here. It's overwhelming. I don't even want to sit. Oh, you're going to Florida. Skylar's 16th birthday. Happy birthday, Skylar. Praying while I'm riding to the USM with my son. I'm anxious. Jesus, take the wheel. Tomorrow I got to work. And Sunday, I'm hopefully rested. I hope you rest too. Prayers for safe travels. What USM? What does that stand for? What is that? There's one little spot of white here, and I'm trying to dry it. Our next step will be painting the let's paint the cone. I like to dissect the design, and I like to go from what's furthest in the back, what's the bottom layer. Hey Melissa, I don't like to tuck things in if I can avoid it. So it goes cone, first layer, second layer, and then we'll kind of tuck that star in just because there's no avoiding that. So let's go ahead and paint. Where's my road? Oh, it's down here. So I have my turntable. This is an OG for Wallace House. Okay. It's OG. Okay. It's been here a long time. It has been lost in all the chaos. And I finally, when I was cleaning, I was like, oh my gosh, look what I found. And I was so excited. So excited. I could not wait to paint with it. I have missed it so much. All right. So I'm lightening up a kind of honey brown for my ice cream cone color. Honey brown is way too, it's just way too brown. We need to tone it down. So we're going to ghost it out, but not with white. We're going to use an off-white. And I'm using all Deco Art paints if you're wondering. Hey, Peggy. using all Deco Art paints. I think I'm going to go just a hair lighter. So I'm using an off-white, and I'm using honey brown. And if you're wondering what the colors are, just put the word ice cream cone or ice cream down in the comments, and I will come back with the color list when we're all said and done. After the live is over, I still have to go back for last week's. Oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. So now y'all, if you have OCD or if like chaos triggers you, trigger warning. My paint palette is nothing but chaos. There's our ice cream color. Okay. It's going to be like a half a shade darker because acrylic paints dry about a half shade darker. My recommendation for mixing colors is always mix more than you need. Don't worry about wasting paint. Acrylic paint is cheap. I mean, obviously don't mix a whole bottle's worth, but definitely mix enough that you're not going to have to try and match things up if you need to do a touch-up job. All right. Let's see. I need to get a detail brush or an angle brush to get in those nooks and crannies because I just painted that white. And I don't want to have to repaint that. We are painting two just because I don't know if I need to. But in the event that I do, painting two it takes the same amount of time as painting one. Well, really about 1.5 because of dry time. If you're painting one, it doesn't take much longer to paint two if you paint them simultaneously and step by step together. All right, so we've got some travelers. Do we have anybody just staying home? That's my favorite thing to do on a weekend. I just love to stay home. It's my absolute favorite. If I don't have to get out of my PJs, I am a happy camper. I'm looking for an angle brush. Of course, everything that I'm pulling out is a flat. Where did all my angle brushes go? I mean, I have one, and it's a little one. I don't want a little one. Here we go. A nice little 1/2 inch angle. All right. This one needs to be reshaping terribly. Look at that little ducktail it's got going on. Look at it. Okay. But it'll work. It'll do its job. It would do its job better if I had it shaped. Yeah. So I'm just taking my time and making sure I'm getting nice, clean lines. Try to avoid using excessive pressure when you're going up against a transition line, kind of where two colors are going to meet. The less pressure you use, the less likely you are for your bristles to fall over into the other section. Okay, there we go. Definitely gonna need 2 coats just to keep it nice and streak free because we got some streaks down there. See those right there in the corner? So we got some brush strokes, but we're gonna let it dry. And the beauty of painting two simultaneously like this, batch painting, you can kind of let things air dry without having to use the blow dryer as much. I wish I could listen, but I'm at work. I hope you're live next Friday as I travel. Let's see, next Friday. What am I doing next Friday? What am I doing? I don't know. Where are you going to? Wait a minute. Is that what are you traveling to where I think you're traveling? Because if you are, I probably won't be live because I'll be traveling too. I have to look at the calendar. Is next Friday the last Friday of the month? Roma, can you chill? They're gone, baby. They're done. They're done. Ice cream for the win, right, Leanne? Oh, Leanne. My sweet friend from Canada. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. How you doing? Wait, is next weekend is it the thing? Is it the thing? Is it the party? Are we partying next weekend? I'm so excited. My days are all crossed. So we are all, not we all, I was invited. Okay. My sweet friend, Miss Bonnie, throws a little paint party at her house. I mean, it's at her house, so she only has so many spots available, right? She throws a little paint party at her house, and a handful of us meet up, and we just paint the day away. And I'm really excited. I think if that's what's next weekend, I'm so excited. Oh, it's something to look forward to. In my mind, we're still early in April. Like, I feel like because it's not April 20th yet. Is it April 20th? Is it, if you're live and it's April 20th? Please let me know, because in my mind it's the 19th. And I feel like since it hasn't hit the 20th yet, we're still like in the first half of the month. Hey, Sheila. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, good. Because my brain couldn't, there's something about the 20th. I start to freak out because I'm like, oh, there's still so much to do. And it's already the 20th. There's something like, yeah. Knowing that there's only about 10 days left in the month, I was like, oh no, there's so much. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the second coat right here at the transition line. And because I did a really good first coat, I'm not going right up to the edge. I'm just kind of smoothing out brush strokes where they need it. And then I'm going to grab my bigger brush and then do bigger brush strokes. I'm going to get my bigger brush and do bigger brush strokes. So I would normally do this kind of messy painting where there's multiple shades of this going in and out, but I don't know, I've been kind of in the mood for like clean colors. So kind of in that phase of my life where I just want nice, clean lines. All right, so we're going to let that dry. Let's do the second one. Look how good that looks. Oh, y'all, we made the perfect ice cream cone color. So good. We could have got a hair lighter, I think. I feel like we could have. Like I said, we're just cleaning up brush strokes. We're not really doing a full, heavy, full coat. We're just doing, I'm not going to bust that angle brush back out. I did a pretty good job on this one. Yes. Perfection. So I'm gonna, I think it's I gotta look at how far it is again. I think it's 2 hours from my house to Miss Bonnie's. That means I gotta get up early next. Well, I probably won't go until Saturday. I don't know. I may go Friday, stay Friday night, and come home Saturday so I can go to church Sunday. I haven't decided. I do plan to stay one night. Just because it is 2 hours away. I'm trying to get my sister to come with me. Trying, but I think she has to work. Yeah. There's that. I may be coming stag solo. What are you painting? We are painting a patriotic, and it doesn't have to be patriotic if you paint it, but I'm painting a patriotic ice cream cone. The Louisianian in me wants to say snow cone. Oh, you're painting two more of the, oh, I'm so excited. That's been a good seller for you. That's been a good seller. Okay, so the one that she's talking about, I released a couple weeks ago, and it's a round, and half of it's a waving flag, and the other half of it says, does it say One Nation under God? Does it say One Nation under God? I can't remember what. I was bouncing a couple of different ideas back and forth when I designed that one. But it does not have to be patriotic. I promise. You could totally paint, because it has a star, you could totally paint this as a galaxy. You could totally paint it as like a baseball. Y'all, because of the star, all-star, right? Like you're the all-star player. All right, I'm busting out a smaller flat. We're going to paint some stripes. I'm going to take a nice kind of dusty red. This is not my go. Oh, yes, it is. That is my go-to Santa red. That's not what I want. I want this one. It's even dustier. And then I'm going to, again, not ghost it out with white. I'm going to ghost it out with a creamy off-white. Take that red away. I don't want to accidentally use it. A softball. Wouldn't it be cool? All right, just a little bit of off-white. Like I said, if you want to know the exact DecoArt shades that I'm using, put the word ice cream down in the comments, and I'll come back after the live is over, and I will link the color list for you, because it may change. I don't know. We may change our mind halfway through. So I don't like to do it as I'm live, just because, you know, we get indecisive sometimes, and we may change our mind. I kind of want to keep these lines nice and clean. I normally have Post-it notes. Do I have Post-it notes? Yes, I do. I'd rather use the Post-it notes if I could instead of painter's tape. We need to blow dry the brown. Our flag was still there. That was the other one. I was trying to not say like Sweet Land of Liberty, or I was trying not to get, you know, do the typical Home of the Brave, or you could totally use those, right? It's a perfect like transition red, white, and blue design. The one that Peggy's painting right now. If you go to her page, she's painted one beautifully of the design that I'm talking about. And sounds like it's been a hot seller for her since this, and it's only been released a couple weeks because it's an April design. All right, this one's pretty dry, so we're going to start with this one. All right, so I'm going to take some Post-it notes, okay? And I'm going to let them be my... Ramo, go find somewhere and sit down. Your pacing is deafening. All right, this is where I have to be very, very careful. That doesn't look straight. I need something. I don't want anything like, I just need something that's straight. That's not wide enough. He just busted up in the bathroom. He likes to open doors when he gets frustrated. So he just opened up the bathroom door. I'm looking for something that's, now that I've cleaned, I know where nothing is. I think this is a little wider. Nope. Let's do a 5M. Ah, the Expo marker. Okay, I'm just going to do this. I just need something to give me like a generic width. Just a generic. Okay, and now I'll be able to do this. This is if you don't have painter's tape and you really don't want to use painter's tape. I need a pen. My little Sebastian pen. So we're going to do this and this. And I just got ink on my brown, but that's okay. I can use, oh, it's nothing. It's just a dot. Okay, so there we go. Now we know. And I'm okay with getting it in the blue. The blue will be okay to cover some of this up. But that tan color, this is the thing I love about this turntable. It's more of a lazy Susan. It's a cake stand, and I love it. And I got it from either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It's a Wilton brand, and they do sell them. I think they're like $10 or $12. Good night in Georgia, Roma. Goodness gracious, dude. Okay, so you saw that I came from this side, and now I'm going to come from this side, just to kind of mimic that round shape. Not using a lot of pressure because I don't want my bristles to splay out, to spread out. We're going to blow dry each section. This is the part that is the most tedious. Everything else after this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. I've started using a scraper type tool to remove paint from etched lines so I can see them better. It's a game changer. Ooh, I've got to see what you're using. I gotta see that. There's our first dusty red line. Now, the color scheme that I went with these designs, you do not have to do. You totally do not have to do what, my color scheme. I just wanted to do something different than the typical red, white, and like your typical red, white, and blue, right? So there's that. And if I wasn't worried about getting into this brown, I would have just done the width of my brush, which is still about what we're painting here. We're still painting the width of my brush. We're just being very careful not to get it in this brown because I don't think that brown will be able to go back and touch up over it. So I'm being very careful. Yeah. Scrolling while having to use Y compression machine. Yes, I'm watching. You're watching the live. Y compression. What is a Y compression? What's Y compression? Okay. We're just using our this. I made a spacer. Do you see my little lines I made? I'm not being super persnickety about it, although this is, I think, still wet paint. It might pill up. This way I can kind of keep uniform, but not perfect. We're not going for perfection here, right? We just want uniform. We just don't want an eyesore. It's like a pottery tool. What? Morning, Gina. Morning, Sandy. I'm curious. See, this is the one time where I'm like, oh, I wish I could, like, she could send a picture. Like, I could see pictures in comments. Like, if you were to post a picture, I wouldn't get to see it until after the live was over. I don't think everybody else in the live could see it either until the live was over. All right, while that's drying, I'm going to cut blow dry time down and go this way. Because remember, we still have one more. All right, there's that one. That's a little wonky. The wonky donkey. Remember, if they're not perfectly straight, it's okay. Lymphedema. Oh, I know. Is that the one for your legs from cancer? It is in my lymph nodes. I had a cluster of. Wait, is that the one that you put on your legs, or is it similar to the one that you do on your legs? I've known someone that had to use a machine for their legs for similar reasons. It was for lymph node drainage, right? Like trying to drain the lymph nodes. I'm so sorry about all that. Now, I will say she loved the machine, like as far as like, but it was on her legs. So if it's not on your legs, I can see where it'd probably be a little uncomfortable, right? I'm glad that we have a distraction for you. So do you have to go to the hospital or to a clinic to kind of like other cancer treatments? Is that something that you have to do? Like you cannot do at home? My friend had a machine at home, but it was her legs. So like I said, I can totally see if it's not your legs and you need a bigger machine, you may have to go to like a clinic. It won't let me even post a picture till after. That's what I thought. I know I can't post a link. That's why I just say put the buzzword or the secret word like ice cream. That's why I always come back after the live and do the link buffet. Just because I can't post links during, it's annoying for you to have a link that's not clickable, and it becomes clickable after the live's over. So I can play the game. I can work around the game, and that's how I play the game. Facebook has a game, and I have to play it. So, Jerry, earlier, to answer your question, I will probably not be live Friday morning unless I decide to go live and then leave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless I decide to go live first and then leave when I'm done. But that has me leaving like no sooner than noon. And I would, if I'm going to Miss Bonnie's, I want to get there early. Remember, you notice when I'm painting the fussy part, I'm painting from the Post-it to the wood, and I'm stopping before I hit the other Post-it. I do not want to scoop paint underneath the other Post-it. Finish the other treatments, but this is at home. Oh, good. At least you get to be at home. At least you get to be at home. That is a comfort. My mother-in-law just had surgery on her foot, and she is with her foot up in the air right now too. And actually, we are going to go over to her house later and plant some flowers for her because she has a pool in her backyard. She normally has her planters already full, and she has not had a chance. She's been preparing for surgery and stuff. And now that she's had surgery on her foot, she's not going to be able to get out there and dig up in the dirt and do all that kind of stuff. So the kids and I are going to go to her house later today and do what she would have already done. Just go ahead and get it ready. By the time that she's all healed up, she should be able to like go out and water. It's not like big flowers that she's gonna have to do a bunch of pruning or anything. She likes little annuals in her flower pots that kind of border the pool. So we're gonna go do that for her. Okay, so there's our first set of our first set of stripes. We're gonna let those dry. Let's do our second set of stripes. I do probably need a little bit more white there. Let's go ahead and just real quick, just right there. I have a dark spot in the wood. Won't take but a second. And white is one of those colors. If you do, you can't just do a touch up. There's something about white where it wants you to do a full coat. My beautiful Boo, I miss your face. Here it is. Here it is. You get a double doozy this week because you're in studio. We will be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Yes, we will. So we will do that. We will be painting our garland and our attachment or our mini. And I will say, like, usually the garland pieces are small enough to where you could either do a garland or an ornament. But y'all, these are big garland pieces. It's a beach ball. Look at that. That's a big ornament. It's as big as almost both of my hands. But they're going to be really cute. Be super cute. All right, so let's blow dry that. And then we can do our stripes. Hey, Terry. What you doing? I have songs stuck in my head. They've been stuck all morning. I am anxious to go outside and see if they've weed eated my hydrangea bush down. They just left. And Graham called me right before I hit the live button. He goes, hey, they're headed your way. And then as soon as I got off the phone with him, I hear the of the lawnmower. And I was like, no, Boo, they're already here. Which was good because, I mean, it didn't take them but 10 minutes. It would take us all Sunday afternoon to do our yard if we were to do it because they have the ride-on lawnmower. We just have a push. Getting ready to spring clean the house. Ooh, I'm jealous. That's what I did yesterday. That's why I couldn't go live yesterday. I had started the project of spring cleaning my craft area first. I'd already done a little cleaning about a month ago. And I got about halfway done. and then just put things where I could put things. I didn't finish the job. And okay, I'm going to get 2 new Post-it notes just because the other 2 are getting kind of saturated. So we're going to throw those away. And I'm going to put my spacer down. My spacer's fine. But I have my spacer. Okay. Like I said, this doesn't make it a perfect stripe, but it gives you a ballpark of spacing so that at least the spacing looks fine. So I got about halfway done, and then it was getting really close to 5. And I was like, I can't stop now. I'm so close. So I just decided I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll paint tomorrow, and I'll be able to paint better tomorrow because I won't feel like the walls are closing in on me. And I'll just finish this job tonight. So that's what I did. That's what I did. And I'm so thankful I did it that way, because I'm telling you, last night it was literally, you could not see table by the time that 4:30 hit. Like I was only about halfway done. Being very careful not to scoop paint under the other Post-it note. Now, my Post-it notes are just acting like painter's tape. Just cheap painter's tape. Okay, that's all they're doing. Okay, I do want to blow dry that first one. It's not going to get dry enough for me to lay down that Post-it note again. Oh, thank you. So during the spring, I don't like to scrunch my hair just because I'm outside more than I'm inside. And we all know in Louisiana, it's humid, it's hot, and scrunched hair just doesn't do well. Like if you have any kind of textured hair, I do not have curly hair. I have wavy hair. And the older that I'm getting, the curlier it is getting. But my hair is so long that I don't think it's ever going to truly get to be curly unless I cut it all off. And so I decided last night after I cleaned this area up, I was like, you know what? I need a shower. That's how good I cleaned. I needed a shower afterwards. That's a good cleaning session. So I took a shower and I washed my hair, and I was like, you know what? I have time. Let me go set myself up for success and scrunch my hair. I always scrunch my hair before bed, and then I sleep with a bonnet on to lock it in. And then the next morning I kind of refresh it once I've diffused everything. And it does pretty good. That's pretty good, especially for someone who doesn't have technically curly hair. I have just wavy hair. Okay. And I'm just bouncing from side to side. I should have done this with the first one. But I'm bouncing from side to side just to cut down on dry time. By doing this, I'm letting this side dry while I'm painting this one. By the time I'm done painting this one, I'm able to come back to the other side. And I'll just go back and forth until it's completely painted. Like I said, I'm not too terribly worried about getting paint where the blue is going to be. I mean, I'm not trying to create an absolute mess that I'm going to have to cover up, but I'm also not worried about stopping the brush right before this blue section. See, and that red section right here is already dry enough for me to put this Post-it over it to where it won't smear. I was watching them mow earlier, and I was like, man, he had the kind that you stand up on the back and it just zooms through. And I was like, oh, that looks like so much fun. I want one. I want to ride. It looked like those always remind me of like Back to the Future, the hoverboards, like the actual hoverboards that we all thought we were going to be getting. That's what those lawnmowers remind me of. Back to the Future hoverboards. And every time I see someone using one, I'm like, ooh, I want to ride. So if we do have a push lawnmower, but it is not, I mean, we really need to replace it. It struggles. We've had it since we've had the house. Like, it's original to the house, basically. It's as old as the house is. And it just needs, we tried resharpening and replacing the blades, and that does help, but there's just something about, I think we went over something that has gotten the actual, like, where the blades sit on, it's out of line. And I think having that repaired will cost just as much as replacing it. So Graham has hired this guy to mow the lawn last summer and this summer, and we will do that. And I think next summer, between now and next summer, on the off season, I think we're going to invest in maybe a lawnmower that's not push, because we have a massive hill in our backyard. We have a massive hill, and if we didn't have the hill, push lawnmower with self-propel would be just fine. But because we have that hill, oh no, where's Baby White? Because we have that massive hill, it's really hard. It's a workout. I mean, if you want to work out, if you want a leg workout and a back workout, that's it. That's the one. All right, so we are going to just here, about right there. Just keep it as straight as possible. Boom. Look at that. Now we do this one. And like I said, we're just eyeballing it. We're not really trying to be super precise here. We don't even care if there's bleeding. It's fine. It's fine. If anybody's judging how straight your lines are, they're not your friend. What does Sheila say? Okay, I switched over here. Can you see mine? I saw your name the whole time. I saw it the whole time. Sheila. I saw it the whole time. Of course, I'm late. Don't tell anyone I'm watching from work. Shh, I won't. I won't even say your name, Nancy. I won't. Won't let the boss know. All right, so we've got our red stripes on. We're pretty much done with that. Let's blow dry and work with our blue. Now, straight from the bottle blue, there are a couple of blues that I want to say, oh, don't get me lying. I don't have the straight from the bottle blue that this blue is. These are very muted patriotic colors. But I know how to get there from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own color. Now, with making your own color, you want to make plenty of that color, especially with this being the bulk of the design. You want to make plenty of that color. So we're going to use a very, not a light medium blue. I know that makes no sense, but if you want the exact colors that I'm using, just put the word ice cream in the comments, and I'll come back and I will put those color combinations in the comments for you. If I'm making this Americana colors, do I do white or a cream for the whites? Are you wanting like an antique look? If you're wanting an antique look, go for a cream, but add white to it. You don't want like straight cream. Maybe like buttermilk. Maybe like buttermilk. Buttermilk will be too creamy. Peggy, maybe light buttermilk. But even if that looks too yellow, add a little bit of white to it, and that should tone it down a little bit. Oh, thank you. My hair. Every time I speaking of white, we're going to ghost this out. I would normally, just for continuity, I would add the cream color to this, but I don't want this to be green. We don't add yellow to blue ever unless we want a greenish color. So I'm going to do a half and half mixture of my medium blue and white. And I'll show you in just a second what it turned into. So we've got this blue. So on the edge, that's the blue I used. And then I added equal amounts of white. And that's the color that I came up with. And it's going to be perfect. So it's so cold here. It's only 36. I am baffled that you're still getting snow, Sheila. Like, absolutely flabbergasted. Y'all, she still has snow on the ground. It's almost May. It's gonna be May. Now, usually I would probably break out an angle brush for this, but these are really big scoops, and I think I can handle it. Oh, you're welcome, Peggy. Now, if you're doing like a color scheme that I'm doing, I would not use cream. If you're doing a muted, fun, whimsical color, I would use white like I'm using. Y'all see how slow I took that corner? You see where that dips in and those two meet right here? I wanted to make sure I matched my brush up perfectly to that. It makes such a big difference for your end result to make sure you get these little dips like that on the edges of your projects. Perfect as possible. Remote, what are you doing? Now, just for simplicity, I'm going to just paint the star blue. Just going to paint the star blue. We look at my mock-up, make sure we don't have any. We have stenciling. It's going to be fun. All right, so remember, we're doing 2. If you're going to do 1, do 2. Especially if you're doing these smaller ones. You could always gift one away. Take your time on those little cutouts right there, okay? Take your time. Take your time where transitions meet. I keep turning it when really I just want to bring it to closer to myself. Use less pressure if you feel like you're constantly painting into a section where you should not be painting. Like if you feel like your bristles are splaying or spreading, hey Lori, or you're spreading into the wrong part, don't think that you're too far over. You're probably pressing your brush down. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can press your brush down when you're just base coating like this. I'm pressing my brush down, but when I'm over here base coating where there's a transition line, barely any pressure. Barely any pressure. Okay, again, for simplicity, just painting that star blue. It's not going to make a huge difference at the end of the day. When you paint that yellow over it, it's going to be fine. But if you didn't and you had like half a blue star and you tried to paint yellow on top of that, when you seal, you will have a half a funky yellow star and half a yellow star. This blue would seep up. So to avoid that transition, just for simplicity, just paint the whole thing. Just paint the whole thing. Let's see. All right. Let's blow dry, second coat. Now remember, fully dry, reapply. Do not frustrate yourself by putting wet paint over wet paint. It will move. Wet paint moves wet paint. Jay baby is homesick. He is the second baby that's homesick today. Watching you, he is Hey, J baby. Morning, Jasper. I have another friend. Her son woke up in the middle of the night throwing up, and he has a field day today. And I'm so I hate it when the babies have to miss a field day. It breaks my heart. It really does, because in the classroom they've used this. Those teachers have used this field day as an incentive, like, don't you act up this week because there's field day coming up and you want to be on that bus. And now he's at home sick. Poor babies. Oh, the babies. And I think nope, yeah, they're the same age because they're both in preschool. Same age. There's got to be something going around. All right, I'm just doing a second coat just for good coverage. Hey, Jasper, I want you to look at mommy. Say, mommy, I want Dom meals today. I want Dom meals. I don't feel good. I want Dom meals. If y'all didn't know, Lauren's one of my very best friends, and she's probably cussing me out right now. She's probably cussing me out on that side of the screen. You tell her that Miss Erica said you could have some Dom meals and that you and mommy should go on a I don't feel good date to Dom meals and get some drive through. That's what they call McDonald's. Unless it's a tummy bug. Dom meals does not sit right on the tummy. You know what? That part in the Grinch where he looks through the phone book and says, "Hate, hate, hate, double hate, loathe." A 10-piece chicken nugget sounds fantastic. You know it does. If it was it yesterday? I think it was it was Wednesday. It's now 99-cent corn dog day. It used to be 50-cent corn dog day. If it was that day, you could go get you some corn dogs from Sonic, but that's over. That's over. We didn't even get corn dogs that day. We normally go get corn dogs. Both my kids somehow know the corn dog sale days. And they are like, Mom, you know what's on sale at Sonic right now? And they talk me into it every time. But any other time we go to Sonic, they don't get a corn dog. Like, they don't even ask for it. But let it be 99-cent corn dog day. I went to Chick-fil-A the other day. Old Footies. And Rayla and I still had my cup. This is where I made an epic mom fail. I went to Footies without them. Had my little Chick-fil-A cup sitting on the counter because I wasn't finished with my lemonade yet, because I do like a good Chick-fil-A lemonade. I wasn't finished yet. And they came home and both of them were like, "You got Footies without us?" I was like, "Sure did. Because I've got Footies money. You got Footies money?" "I don't think so. I got Footies money." I already got him a donut and a promise. You know what? That's better than Dom meals anyways. Okay, Jasper, okay, now look at mommy. Look at mommy. I want you to look at her. Look her right there in the eyes. Go. You're best mommy ever. Best mommy ever. She got you a donut? And ice cream? I love corn dog day. Y'all. There's part of me that says it's worth the gluten. It's worth the gluten. And it's something about a Sonic corn dog. There's something about a Sonic corn dog that it's worth it. So this is what we have so far. We're going to do some stenciling, and then after that, we're on to shading. And once we get to shading, we're all but home, right? Like, we're almost done. We can't stencil over wet paint. It'll peel the paint up when we peel the stencil up, so we have to make sure everything is bone dry. I have to go to Sam's later. I need, which is right there by Footies. I might get Footies for lunch. And it's only 11 still. We'll be done by lunchtime. I might get me some Footies. Are we using the Paisley? Are we using the Paisley stencil? Let's see. Let's pull the stencils out. What's holding the stencils back? Oh, because I'm pulling it the wrong direction. So if you caught me live the other day, you noticed that I put my stencils in something else. These are my go-to stencils. This is not all the stencils I have. I'm a stencil hoarder. Okay. So I have this one. Okay. I don't know what I call this a studio stencil just because this is the cut file. The SVG cut file for this is a gift to the paint studio. And so they can go in there. Are we talking about this one? Are we talking about this one? Marie Mosley, which one do you want? Hold on. I think I do have like a legit Paisley one. This is the one in the mock-up. Okay, this is the one. I think the swirls give a. Okay, so this one. I think you're right. I will have to agree with you now, but I do have like a Paisley Mandela. I don't know if it'll be now this right here is fun because y'all know it's spring, so my brain is all over the spring flower. So we do have some pretty florals. Let's see. I also have this one I haven't used yet, and that would cover the whole. So there's that one. So we have this one that doesn't have a name, but when I look it up online, it will have a name. Oh, and the mama Saki says hello. Hey, Miss Gina, how you doing? She stopped by for work. Okay, so we're talking this one, right? He is adamant, you know, he got his army. He doesn't understand that this isn't FaceTime. Hey, baby, those are some cool ornaments. Wait, show me the flag. Show me the flags. I know it came with flags. He was super excited about the flags the other day. I'm going through just making sure I did. Okay, so I think Marie's right. I think that's the one to go with because she is right. I think unless you have a fireworks, I think that one would be neat. Okay, so I think if you had a fireworks stencil, which I do have, but it's a big one. Like you wouldn't know that it was a firework because of how big it is on this small of a piece. That's not the bag I want. My friend Tammy gave me this bag at the last paint party that we had over at Sheila's house. And I finally decided what I was going to do with it. I've had like just candy in it. I've been filling it with like candy that I've been hiding from the kids that I don't want to share. And where's my spray bottle? I want to wet. Give me the spray bottle. I want to wet my sponge. All right, so I'm going to wet my sponge. I'm going to take my rag. You can soak these ahead of time. You just don't want them to be sopping wet. They do work a little better when they've got a little bit of moisture in them, but you don't want them to be sopping wet. You can totally use them dry. You tell that baby I will FaceTime him when we're done. When I'm headed to Footies, I'll FaceTime him. I have so many. I'm sorry, I'm talking directly to Lord. I have so many things I want to say at that right now. Oh, the things I want to say. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna be nice. Be nice. You better, because he wants to show you his flags. I want to see the flags. I want to see the flag. I've heard all about these flags. Look at your phone. I'm looking at it. Oh, look. And I got a text message. Mama sent me a text message of the flags. Okay, so now I've got just a slightly damp makeup sponge. This thing, when you dampen it, they get bigger. Okay, they cover more space, and there's already moisture in here, so it's not going to soak up as much paint. Okay, now we have a mixed color here. This is not straight from the bottle, so we need to be careful about not. So this right here is our mixed color. Okay, it's not going to show up. We need to add a little bit more white. So every time that we go in, We're going to add up. Uh-oh. Stand by. Hold up. I got red in there. That's not going to be okay. It's not okay. Not okay. It's not okay. But we can make it okay. Okay, here we go. Reload. We're going to make sure we get a good bit of blue. Cover up all that red. I need a clean spot. There we go. Pick up white. Picked up white. All right, now let's go to town. The only thing you have to be careful about is where the red is. So all this right here, but I'm going to shade. So I'm not going to be too worried about it. I'm not going to get right up on that line. And I'm not even worried if I'm getting full coverage because this is going to be, I mean, it's not distressed, but in my mind, it kind of is. Okay. This is, I'm going to be shading on this. When I go to shade, it's going to fill in that little itty bitty gap between the white and red striped portion and the blue portion. So you're not even going to tell, you're not even going to be able to tell that I didn't go all the way. I'm barely missing the edge. So this is, I do this part first just because it is the most stressful part. And then I come back and I fill up the rest of it. I'm being very aggressive. I should not be this aggressive. Sizzling is not this aggressive. Slow your roll, Erica Ray. Slow your roll. All right. What is on everybody's agenda? What are you going to do after we're done painting? Are you going to go paint? Are you going to paint something? I'm probably only going to shade one. I'm probably not going to shade the second one live. Probably just going to shade the one. I'll come back and do the other one. I'll finish the other one later. Just depends on how fast we work. Y'all got me excited about footies now. Y'all didn't say it. I mean, it was me. I got me excited about footies. Work. Sheila's got to work. Chrissy, are you doing hair? Karen, are you doing hair? What are we doing today? Karen, are you playing with the chickens? I thought about those chickens the other day. I planted 2 tomato plants. I don't do tomatoes, but my daughter does tomatoes. So I planted her 2 cherry tomato plants just so that they would be easy plants for her to kind of like maintain and get her feet wet in the garden, because she comes out and she helps me cut flowers, but she's never planted anything on her own. So this is Raylan's portion of the garden. She has 2 strawberry plants. She has 2 cherry tomatoes, and she is going to the nursery today to pick out enough to fill a hanging planter. Look at that. So we went from this to that. Look what stenciling can do. No, I'm off. I'm watching you and catching up on the next on my text messages. Are y'all back home now? They went to Missouri and they got to go to the Titanic Museum. So jealous. I have yet to go, but I am going to Missouri here for my birthday. So I may stop on my way to Missouri. I may try to get there super early. Go on the day before. Teach her zucchini. It will. Okay. So I want to do squashes and stuff like that, but here's my dilemma. We get those boar beetles so bad. I can't do anything that has a stalk like that. They traumatize the plant so much that they never produce anything. And I have tried everything to rid my plants of boar beetles. So I have given up. I have succeeded. Now my friend can grow them. So what we had talked about, like when we decide that we're going to do, we're going to just live on We're going to buy a big piece of property and we're all just going to live on it and we're all going to grow all the things. And when we're cute old ladies, that they will plant those and I will do all the flowers. I'll make sure we stay in pretty flowers. And I will grow all the herbs. This is almost like a dusting. The way that this is coming off. Being aggressive again. It's basically because I'm not picking up any paint. Almost done. Kind of like how this one's turning out. Because I can kind of see when the, oh, y'all, it's so pretty. Hey, Miss Stephanie, look at that hot woman with her hair. Graham Wallace, you should be at work. You should be at work. You should be selling cars. I know he just said it in his head like candy bars. Selling cars like candy bars. That's a Graham Wallace-ism. It's one of his little ditties. Ellis has a garden activity up for children that's 10 years old. Ooh, we might go do that. It's going to rain Saturday, but I'm sure they'll have it inside if it rains. They get one. Ooh, Lauren, do you see that? Look, I'm going to put it up here. Lauren, read that. Read that. I mean, Shady Haiti is out because he is well over 10. But he may want to go hang out at my sister's house. But the kids can go. You want to go? They get one plant free and all the stuff to plant them. I think that, ooh, yes, Lauren. Let's get the kids together. Let's do that. But that's only if Jasper's feeling better. That's tomorrow. What do you got going on tomorrow morning? We could do that. It's going to rain, so we can't go to the park or anything afterwards. But we could go do, that's a good indoor. We did Dolly Parton Stampede, Branson Bell Showboat, Anthems of Rock. Oh, that sounds fun. And Silver Dollar City that have the best roller. I can't do roller coasters. No. See, in fact, last time that we took the kids to Six Flags, Raylyn was a baby. So she was in a stroller. It was really more for Hayden. Look how beautiful that turned out. It was really more for Hayden. We took Lauren with us so that she could ride with my kids because I can't handle roller coasters anymore. It's bad. It's so bad. I get vertigo really bad. And now we're starting to realize that it's probably not actual vertigo. It's probably my MS. Like that was before I knew I had MS. And like all that inner ear stuff that most people say, oh, it's just your inner ear. No, sometimes like with MS, those are your like inner ear like symptoms, like having your equilibrium being off. That they say that MS will cause that. So I'm guessing I'll never get to ride a roller coaster ever again. Like y'all, Ferris wheel. I can get on a Ferris wheel. I can get on a merry-go-round if I really focus in. But I'm telling you, the simplest roller coaster had me doubled over dying that day. It was awful. She was just happy-go-lucky taking that kid on any ride he wanted to. It's like 10 to noon or 1 o'clock. I think we're going to, if she's up to it, I mean, I may take Ray regardless if Jasper's still sick. I mean, obviously. But I think that might be our tomorrow. Well, oh, I can't. Scratch that, Lauren. I can't. I'm painting. I have a class tomorrow. But not at 1. I'll be done by 1. Maybe we can go at 1. I kind of want to go. Home Depot has stuff like that too. Home Depot has during the summer they have on Saturdays. I think it's a certain Saturday a month. I don't think it's every Saturday, but Home Depot has summer projects for the kids. They get a free kit or it's like a $10 kit or something like that. Hey, Janet. I have to work today and thought and through the Man. Well, here it's going to be a rainy weekend, so it's not like we can go out and do anything fun. So if you were here, it'd be a bummer weekend. Lowe's used to do that too. Okay, so that's where I first saw it, but I haven't seen Lowe's. They normally have when you go into the store. I need a different angle brush. When you go into the store, they have there's my angle brush. They have a calendar on the wall, like where the buggy carts are. They have a calendar on the wall, and it tells you what the upcoming projects are. And then throughout the store, every once in a while, you'll see a little advertisement of the most recent upcoming one. Lowe's has one tomorrow from 10 to 1. Garden cart plant. Ooh. We won't be able to do both. Garden cart planter. Ooh. That sounds fun. Just saying. It just sounds like a good time to be had. Now that you say that, Miss Stephanie, I think Holly sent that to me. I think she sent a screenshot to me of that, saying that you had mentioned it. I think I have to look back. It may have been something different, but I want to say she said that you were like, sound the alarm. There's something fun going on, and I cannot remember exactly. I think it was that though, the Ellis thing. See, Lowe's has how to make a salsa. What? Okay, so next Saturday we're going to be at Lowe's learning to make a salsa garden. What flavor would this ice cream be? Blue raspberry, cherry limeade, because there's white, so it can't be straight up cherry. So I'm thinking cherry limeade. It's sherbet. It probably can't be. I'm lactose intolerant, so probably can't be real ice cream. Before we get to shading, I need to find a better angle brush that doesn't need to be reshaped. This one's screaming to be reshaped. Doesn't it sound good? Christy says, Anthems of Rock pay tribute to mostly 80s music. Well, then that's all you, boo. I don't like 80s music. There's some things. Led Zeppelin, Eagles, Foreigner. I do love some Bon Jovi. Love me some Bryan Adams. Guns N' Roses is very reminiscent of my biological father. Like there were a couple of bands that he loved, and Guns N' Roses was one of them. In fact, every once in a while, if I'm in a store and there's like a Guns N' Roses t-shirt, I normally pick it up just because I can't help myself. It reminds me of him. So I have so many Guns N' Roses t-shirts. I have a Guns N' Roses. I got a little blue here. We're going to touch it up. Of course, it's going to look like a touch-up because white's just so funny about touch-ups. Okay. It's a white chocolate colored blue hard shell over the ice cream. That got very specific, Sheila. That got eerily specific. All right, one more coat of yellow, because again, yellow's like white. It's nobody's friend. It really isn't. It requires 2 coats minimum. The middle schoolers surprisingly knew a lot of those songs. A lot of them, if they're in band, and it was a band trip, wasn't it? A lot of them, if they're in band, a lot of their band music is 80s music. Like, I've learned that. Dipped cones are my favorite. And you know what? A nice chocolate dipped cone, like from Dairy Queen. Not supposed to have all that stuff, but you only live once. So every once in a while, I let myself have that. There we go. We're going to use this angle brush. It's kind of stiff, but we're going to use it for the yellow. Show choir. Okay. Well, again, I bet you a lot of their music is 80s reminiscent. Or in the past that I bet you they've done a good bit of 80s music. Okay, I switched to an angle brush that has a sharper chisel. That other one, although I love it, it needs to be reshaped. I could probably shade with it because shading is so forgiving. But for these sharp corners and edges, I want nice clean lines. I feel like my star needs something. I'm kind of thinking maybe some polka dots. Maybe some polka dots. Not everything needs texture. Not everything needs pattern. It is okay for things to be a solid color and it be just that. But there's just something about this star. I feel like it's going to be, I'm not going to do it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do polka dots. I'm going to add highlight to it at the very end. Highlight to the center. Y'all always like it when I bring out the highlight brush. Metallic and glitter. Ooh, I might do some glitter at the very end. I have a new Ryder bottle. I haven't used it yet. Wonder if I can find my micro glitter. All right. We're not going to do polka dots. We're not. All right. We're going to need this to be bone dry. So we're about to go in with some shading. The words are very last because we run the risk because I am going to use paint pen. Like there's not question there. Oh look, there's not a question there. I'm not going to bust out a liner brush for all these little words. I'm going to use a paint pen. I'm going to make myself happy and just use the paint pen. So far we've got twinsies. Too bad you can't make it look sugary. Oh man. Don't challenge me, Sheila. It needs a third coat. It needs a third coat. I can still see patchiness. Y'all probably can't see it. It probably looks very smooth. It's patchy. But the good thing about it, I won't have to go to the very edge. It's okay. Let's do it. Let's just do it right the first time. Let's just do it. Let's not get... I have dried paint in the cap. So we're just going to have to get it from the bottle. You get it from the bottle. All right. I did a really pretty patriotic cross just for fun not too long ago. I didn't paint it live or anything like that. I just painted it for fun. And I think I'm going to put it in the garden. Of course, my friends made fun of me for it because it's a patriotic cross. And they were like, ugh, you would. I'm like, I would what? I'm an American and I love my Jesus. What's where my two loyalties lie? I was like, what? And they were like, ugh, nationalism or what? I can't remember what they called it, but I felt so attacked. I was like, no, I think it's pretty. I was like, just because it's not your jam doesn't mean it's not my jam. And I thought it was gorgeous. I did some rosettes in the blue. Like the whole blue section was nothing but rosettes. And then it just had red and white stripes. Like the blue portion, the blue field was rosettes. Instead of having stars and stripes, it was stripes on 3/4 of it. And then the top corner of it was just nothing but blue rosettes. And it was absolutely gorgeous. I'll have to post a picture of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. If y'all like it, maybe I'll do a tutorial on it. But it was absolutely phenomenal. This is better. I mean, honestly, another coat wouldn't hurt, but we're not going there. So embossing powder, it depends on what kind of embossing powder. Like there are certain embossing powders that get like buttery smooth. Honestly, what you can do is you could do glitter placement. Hold up. You could do glitter placement, like paint it, pour glitter on it, and then paint over the glitter. And then that will make it look sugary. It'll make it look textured, but without it being shiny. Like you have to completely cover the glitter. There's one hair that's stuck in my eyelash and it's really bothering me. Hold on. Oh, there it goes. I have one of the chunky clear glitters and it makes, ooh, I want to know what it is. I want frosted frostiness. Okay, we're on to shading. Start with the ice cream cone. That is Ghosted Out Honey Brown. I'm going to take the same base straight from the color brown. And I'm going to darken it. I think, honestly, I think straight from the bottle color is going to be fine. It's going to be fine. If you're worried about getting straight lines, this is where your stencil comes in handy again. Let me see. What brush do I want to use for this? Kind of a flat brush. That's what kind of, yep, that right there. I want just a flat brush. All right, straight from the bottle, honey brown. We're going to get the majority of our paint off the brush. These do not have to be solid lines. And you do not want them actually touching. You can barely see that, but that's the whole point. It's barely there. And I'm just kind of eyeballing straightness here. Just kind of eyeballing it. So earlier we were talking about Ellis. I don't know if that's a national change. I do know that there are some over in Texas. Let me get y'all closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. See that? You see it? Isn't it cute? It's going to be real cute. Okay. We're going to do about 4 or 5 stripes. Just depends on how well they fit in. Ellis is a home decor and garden center here in Louisiana for sure. I know that they have them down south because I know someone who used to work for Ellis Pottery. But if you live somewhere, check your local garden centers. I bet you if you have something that's like kind of home decor, or a family-owned garden center like that, you should be able to find a fun activity, kind of like what we're planning on doing tomorrow. We have one in. I thought there was one in Texas. I just don't know if they're national. I think they're kind of a southeast, southwest kind of thing. I just know we have them all over Louisiana, or at least 2 or 3. I say all over, at least 2 or 3. I know we have one in Shreveport and we have 2 in Bossier. All right, so there's, if you notice, I didn't go all the way over, okay? I don't want to. Those were barely there stripes. Let me get you a little closer so you can kind of see. They're already dry, okay? Now, I'm going to go at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to start in the middle. I'm just going to start in the middle. And we're just kind of making a hash mark. Again, you don't want your brush sopping wet. You want to knock most of this paint off. And I'm barely catching the wood with my brush. I'm just using the stencil, the edge of the stencil, as a straight edge. And I'm using a really strong stencil flat brush. It looks good. I'm probably going to do right about there. You can totally use painter's tape for this if you want to try to keep super clean, straight lines. But I trust my stencil. Morning, Wanda. Oh, Wanda, I love seeing your name pop up. That was my granny's name. And it, like, I miss her all the time. When I talk about my Native American granny, it was Wanda. Gosh. Got me in my feels now. I just love seeing your name. I'm telling you, she was a lot down. My mama, my mama, her name is Charlene. And she loves all of this. She is so proud of all of this. And I'm telling you right now, Wanda would have been too. Of course, Wanda would have been putting in some special orders. She would have been putting in special order. I'm like, Granny, I don't do special orders. I'm your grandmother. That was Wanda in a nutshell. I am your granny. All right, Granny. Well, I don't do special orders. I don't do customs, Granny. I am your grandmother. Are you going to deprive me? Yeah, basically. She would guilt trip me. Okay, so now that I see it, I do kind of want to do just a itty bitty one right here. I feel like it's kind of bare. There we go. They're not perfect. They're just barely there. Second one. And then once we get to shading, like I said, we're just going to shade one together. I will do the other shading later on. I'm using barely there pressure. I'm making this one at a deeper angle. I want to see what it would look like if I did a deeper angle for my texture here. You know what you could do with this? You could totally get a Ryder bottle out with this color on and just like draw this on. If you have a Ryder bottle, like those are the paint bottles with the little nozzle at the end. It would be really, really cool. Flip it around. Do it this way. I already had the stencil out, so this works just fine for me. You just don't want to get it in. I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I'm trying to keep the very edge free of paint. Wonder if we're going to get rain today. It doesn't. We're not supposed to get it till tomorrow, but our weatherman has been slightly off in his predictions lately. And when he says, oh, it's going to be Monday, we normally get it Sunday. And I mean, like, not in the middle of the night Sunday. I'm talking like Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, he's a whole 12 hours off. But it is Louisiana. Anything can happen. Ooh, look, I like it at a deeper angle. I can already tell you that. Do a 45-degree angle. The way I lined this up, I did this corner to this corner. And then I just did parallel from that. Okay, so that to do my cross line, I'm going to do the same thing. Remember, I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm just going to go about 1/4 of an inch from the very edge. Yeah, I like it at a steeper angle. I'm just kind of eyeballing the parallel line. I'm not being super precise about it. Again, if someone is measuring, if they bust out a measure tape at your door or a ruler and they're like, ooh, those are so not spaced out correctly and that is so crooked, they're not your friend. We don't let them in our house. The Ellis Plant Bar is only at the airline store in this area. It's every Saturday. Oh, so we can go. Okay. From the through the 9th is Raylan's birthday. She would love to do that for her birthday weekend. I might save that for her birthday weekend, just so that we have something extra fun to do that weekend. We might go do the Lowe's thing or the Home Depot thing tomorrow, and then on her birthday weekend, go do Ellis Pottery. Oh, thank you for looking that up for me, Miss Stephanie. Raylan's gonna love that. I'll have to get with Holly and Sarah and Lauren and see if any of them are free so we can make it a party. Raylan came up to me. She goes, Mom, it was last night. She goes, Mom, am I a teenager? I was like, thank God. No, you're not. She goes, oh, I want to be a teenager. I was like, no, ma'am. No, I'm going to shade this one. I'm kind of proud of it. I go, no, I'm kind of happy that you're not a teenager. We're going to use a flat brush. I normally use an angle brush for my shading. We're going to try a flat brush today. Stop reminding me that she is I know, right? And I am going to I can lock my turntable. So I am going to lock it just because it does help me keep things kind of orderly. So since we're already brown, my stomach's about to start growling. If y'all can hear it through the interwebs, I'm sorry. Please accept my apologies now. I'm going to start with the brown, and we're just going to work our way down. We're just adding a little bit of color to the very edge of all the things. Pick up a little bit. Oh, I kind of like this. Oh, don't make me break up with my angle brush. No, I think I like my angle brush still for, hear me out, for these little nooks and crannies right here. Yeah. But this works. This really holds some paint. No, okay, so she asked me if she was a teenager yesterday. And I said, no. You're an adolescent, like you are a child. She goes, but I'm not a baby. I was like, no. And she goes, and I'm not a teenager. I was like, no. She goes, then what am I? A child. And she goes, that's not good enough. What am I? Bubba's a teenager. And Desmond is my nephew. Desmond's a baby. He's only a year old. She's like, what am I? And I'm like, I mean, she was emotional about it. And I'm like, I almost wanted to say a very hormonal 6-year-old, but then I would have to explain all that to her. And I was like, Ray, you're just a kid like that. You're an adolescent. You're a child. You got a couple more years till you're a preteen. When am I a preteen? I count preteen as at 10. It's when you have those beginner years of practicing before being a teenager. You're a preteen. She goes, okay. And I mean, giving her a goal, something to look forward to kind of calmed her down. But I was like, oh my gosh, we're 6-year-old. Like, we're already this emotional about not having exactly what we want, of things that are like, it's irrational. I can't just snap my fingers and give you being a teenager. Like, that's not something I can give you. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be it's going to be fun teenage years. All right, look. Okay, so flat, dimension. That's a little bit of paint and a little bit of effort goes from flat to dimensional. And it doesn't have to be extra fancy. Y'all, just a little bit of paint. 10. Becca is 10, and I still want her to be my kid, so I will let her be official at 11. You know what? 11. 11 does sound good. Don't tell Raylan, though, because she is dead set on 10 now. Oh, wait, I didn't need any more brown. I'm lying. I kind of do I want a little bit more brown around my corners down here. When you have something rounded like this, you really want that to come in. So just walk it in. So instead of starting at the very edge on your second coat, just kind of like walk it in with your brush. Go swipe a little bit further in, swipe a little further in, swipe. And that gives you just a little bit more dimension towards the center. All right, we're done with the brown. We are finished with brown. Isn't it beautiful? It is our show offs. If you put the word ice cream down in the comments, I'll make sure to link where you can find this. This is at Hobby Lobby. I don't get any commission or anything off of when I find a tried and true product, and if I can share it, I share it. Okay. But I don't, as of right now, they don't know I exist. So, okay. So when it comes to the red, let's do a darker red. Let's do this. The word ice cream is what I call our secret word of the day. It gets you anything that we talk about. So we've talked about the stencil. We talked about my turntable, and we've talked about my brush. And and then the color list. Like I will make sure to provide all the links to all of those. Like I said, nothing is commission based. I'm putting red as my shade color on this section because I think it'll look good. I think it'll look good. Doodle doodle doo doo. There's still some brown in my brush. That's what I get for using dirty paint water to clean my brush. There we go. I'm going to clean that. Clean my brush. We teach non-healthcare people at 8. You treat patients like adults for CPR. And Becca got a big head after learning that. She goes, see, I'm grown up. Well, you can't tell Braylon she's grown up. She doesn't want to be a grown up. She wants to be a teenager. What, like specifically a teenager. And that terrifies me because that's the age. Teenager and 22. Just hear me out. Teenager and 22. And all the moms of grown children will probably agree with me. 22 terrifies me because everybody at 22 thinks that they know more than their mama. And all mama wants to do is save you from the heartache. And nobody wants to listen to mama. And then about 25, 28, somewhere in between there, depending on how hard life got, you know, that's when they all said, oh my gosh, my mom was right. Like right around the transition to 30. Oh my gosh, my mom was right. Most moms, not all moms. Not all moms get that credit, but most moms get that, mom, you weren't lying conversation, especially when grandkids are involved. I heard the Three's Company. I said something in the tone of Three's Company, and then I couldn't get it out of my head. I had to finish it. It was one of those. I had to just finish the song. Have you ever had someone like start humming a song and then they just stopped and you're like, finish the song? Like it was like nails on a chalkboard for them not to finish it. Look at that. That's fun. A little different from the mock-up. A little different. Okay. Now with the blue, I think I'm going to use a darker blue. I don't think I'm going to use the straight from the bottle blue. It will not be enough of a transition. I have dried paint, and it's going to I store my bottles upside down. If you get these little things here or here on your paint bottle, remove them. One, they are hindering, they're allowing air into your bottle, and it will make your paint, if you ever get those little paint globs that you have no clue where they're coming from, get those little paint blobs in your paint and they clog up the spout of your paint. It's because you're allowing air in there somehow. You're either leaving the bottle open or you're allowing paint in by not clearing those little globs, those dried paint. Look at that. That's a little harsh. I want to tone that down. Oop, I had blue paint on my finger, but there's water on the board so I can clear it. So I did not add paint. I just added water. And I'm just going to kind of push this paint further down the line. We're almost done, y'all. We're going to finish this shading up, and then we're going to add our words. they're blue words. I don't know. They may end up being black words. Because like I said, I am not hand painting them. I am going to paint pen. There's our shadow. I kind of want to walk that in. I feel like it needs to be a little further out. So I'm going to keep it wet. Soften this up a little bit and walk it out. Go. Get a little bit more blue up. There we go. That looks a little better. It was a little too just like outlined look. Paint buggers, yes. Raylan hates that term. So I try to avoid saying it in the house. You had a Three Company song with yourself. That's what there's like certain songs. It used to drive one of the attorneys I used to work for crazy. His son specifically more than him. It was the Indiana Jones song. Dun, 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 dun. Like as I was working, it would just start like I didn't know it was happening. I just started the song. And it's one of those songs that once you start it, I have to finish it. And I would go dun 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 as I was typing. If I was typing something that was super routine, and or if I was just making stylistic changes to something, I really didn't have to think about it. I mean that or the Star Wars theme. And sometimes Indiana Jones faded into Star Wars. It would go dun 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 dun. It was bad. It drove him crazy, and it was probably one of those reasons that finish the song. I would fade into a new song, and it would drive him crazy. Oh, it's so good, y'all. I think I do like my angle brush a little better. I feel like this gets a heavier line when I shade, but I do like it. I think I like my angle brush better. I feel like I get a better control of product with the angle brush. Trying to be careful about laying my hand in this paint over here. Okay. I keep washing my brush off and I'm putting blue right back on it. Now, when it comes to right here where the star enters into the ice cream, almost said frosting, as if this was a cupcake, I just want to add just a little bit of shading there. There's that. Now oh, look what I did. You can't see it, but it's there and it's going to, look at that. There's blue. And it's from my wrist. Let's see if I can clean this up. Yeah, I was able to clean it up. I was able to clean it up. Okay. That's me putting my hand in wet paint. I need to, let's blow dry this. Before we go on to the start, let's just blow dry it. It's going to look great. We're almost done. All right. Need a mustard color for the yellow. And with a star, oh, we're going to bust out the angle brush again. Didn't mean to, but it's what's in my hand, so we're just gonna go with it. With the star, I'm just gonna find a couple of little spots. Just add a little shadow. Do need to, forgot to add a little water. There we go. Now, if you're not comfortable with shading yet, you could totally use paint pens and do some outlining. It would be just fine. You do not have to do the shading. Oh, Ramo? He goes, He wants you to shade. He got vocal. All right, I need a little bit of white. Just a dot. Because I told y'all that we were going to do a little bit of highlight. Okay, I'm putting white on my brush and I'm tapping most of it off. Okay, and I'm going to take maybe a baby wipe. Tap most of it off on the baby wipe. All right, now that I have most of it tapped off on the baby wipe, I normally have like I have a Post-it note. I normally have craft paper laying around. There we go. Yep, that's perfect. Just want a little cloudy look. Right there in the center. Oh, I can hear my wind chimes. All right, and since this is already loaded, I'm going to go ahead and just do this one. This is buildable. You just kind of swirl it until you're happy with it. You barely see it on camera, but in person, it has just the halo-like glow to it. It's like a halo. Okay. Yes. There we go. All righty, let's bust out a paint pen. We're going to use a 3M R. Sorry. You know what? That's really tight. I usually use those for my ornaments. It's like a felt tip liner. We're going to use a 3M. So 3M is like the size of a Crayola. Wait, that's another 3MR. Where's my 3Ms? That's a 5M. That's a white. It's way too big, but I will need the 5M for my USA. I thought I had a 3M out. I'll probably have to get a new one out. 1MR. It's a 5M. Sorry, guys. Stand by. Stand by. That's white. That might be a 3M. 3M. Okay. It's a very specific size, and I like it for when we have skinnier lettering. Oh, this sounds almost empty. Yes, y'all, don't forget to put the word ice cream down in the comments if you're looking for anything that I use, the template, the wood cutouts. We call those blanks around here. Sometimes we call them a wood surface. If you're looking for any of the colors that I use, I always provide a list at the very end of the link buffet that I provide. there's our party. You know what? I am going to bring, this is the 1MR, because this is much smaller. Now, if you do this in door hanger size, a 3M and a 5M would probably get you by on all the lettering. On a smaller size, that 1MR is the size of a felt pen. So if you like flare pens, it's the size of like a flare pen tip. There's that part. 5M. 5M is not my favorite. Now, it does help get these thicker lines done faster. But because it's a rounded bullet tip, it's really hard to control when you're wanting to be precise. Go. S's are like not my favorite letter to do. They never come out right for me. Total MSR. Some people like it. Some people don't. Like, there are times where it drives me crazy when I'm holding it. Like, when I can feel the pen kind of rattle with it and hear the scratchiness. I try not to let it screech. That's when it gets nails on a chalkboard. It's when the paint pen screeches. Like this right here. That noise I can handle. It's whenever it, like, you drag it and it goes. Party in the USA. All right. Y'all, I think we're done. Look how that turned out. I like it. I think we can do a little bit. Should we do a little bit of highlight down here? We have a minute. We have a minute. I bet you we can. Did I put the highlight brush away? No, I didn't. Okay. I want to do a little bit of highlight on the cone. I'm just tapping most of it off. And I'm swirling most of it off. Yeah. When I can tap it and I can't see paint right here, that means I'm loaded correctly. And I'm going to lightly buff it on. I'm just going to add a little bit down the side. One particular side. And just kind of create a backwards L. That just adds a little bit of dimension. It just adds a little bit of shape. Okay, there's that. I'm going to do it to this one since I already have the pen loaded or the brush loaded. Even though I don't have the shading on here, I know about where it's going to land. There we go. So you can kind of see a little better there with less going on. And then I love it. Okay, I am done with this. I'm going to, yep, it gets committed to the water so I can clean it. A little dry brushing highlight buffer will look pretty. Isn't it pretty? So we went from flat to fab. Okay. Alrighty. If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, and you have any questions about what we use, where you can get it, put the word ice cream down in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to come back and individually respond to everybody who puts that. It doesn't matter if it's today. Doesn't matter if it's 5 years from now. If you put the word ice cream down in the comments, I will come back and I will make sure that you have all the information to be able to replicate one of these for yourself as well. All right. Until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.